Доброго дня, шановні українські журналісти.
Good afternoon, dear Ukrainian journalists. Ukrainian diplomacy continues to work for victory. The diplomatic front runs through all the capitals of the world. Three key tasks that we are currently pursuing. First, the systemic strengthening of Ukraine's defenses. Second, the destruction of the Russian economy. And third, the deputinization of the world. We have mobilized an international anti-military coalition that already includes at least 86 states and 15 international organizations. 19 countries are giving weapons to Ukraine. Some of them are doing it for the first time in their history. 10 countries are providing macro-financial assistance. 22 countries provide humanitarian aid. Volunteers are already coming to Ukraine from 16 countries, ready to fight the aggressor side by side with Ukrainian people. Their total number has already surpassed 1,000, and we continue to receive their applications. Day by day, Russia loses access to the sky, the sea, trade, financial instruments, modern technology, and the global economy. We're turning the shock of the world into concrete solutions that are destroying Russia's economy. They are destroying our cities. We are destroying their economy. We know that Moscow, in a panic, has begun to look for workarounds to escape the sanctions roller. It has managed to find 3 countries in the world willing to work with it. We know these countries, and we will talk to them with other partners to prevent them from assisting the aggressor. A few hours ago, I had talks with my British colleague, Liz Truss. We discussed ways to close any loopholes, gaps for the Russian economy under the sanction roller. We're working not only with the UK, but also with other partners to ensure that there is no way for Russia to escape. We will literally suppress the Russian economy. Today, through the efforts of the President of Ukraine and the entire diplomatic team, Europe has begun in effect our real of supply. There is a flow of military aid so that Ukraine can fight and defeat the Russian invaders. A few hours ago, the Prime Minister of Spain announced a new decision: a large amount on defensive and offensive weapons for Ukraine. We have activated the European Peace Fund, under which military aid from EU countries will go in a systemic stream of hundreds of millions of euros. 38 countries have closed airspace to Russian aircraft. A Russian plane now goes where a Russian ship went. By the way, ports and territorial waters are also being to be closed for ships. A decision to this effect has been taken by Canada and Great Britain. Tonight, the UN General Assembly will adopt a historic resolution condemning Russian aggression, demanding that Russia immediately cease fire and withdraw all of its armed forces from Ukraine within its internationally recognized borders, including Crimea and Donbass. We expect record supplies for peace. In fact, it will be a fixation at the highest world level of the international anti-war coalition, which Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called for from the very beginning of the war. 95 states co-authored this document. More countries will vote for this document. Finally, Ukraine and its partners are waging a large-scale campaign to deputinize the world. It has become immoral and unacceptable to work with Russia, with those who support Russian aggression. From Georgiev, who was expelled from the Munich Orchestra, to Russia Today and Sputnik. But the biggest processes are now taking place in trade and businesses. More than 100 of the world's giant companies have already fully or partially ceased operations in Russia or are planning to make such a decision. Among them are the global postal services DHL, the largest freight company, Maersk, technology giants Apple, Google, Twitter, Lenovo, HP, Spotify, Dropbox, cars Tesla, BMW, Mercedes, Porsche, Toyota, Ford, Chevrolet, Audi, financial giants, Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, clothing, Nike, Adidas and others. All these brands are hurt. With all these brands, the Russians will either have very serious problems or they will simply lose access to them, and it will happen in near the future. So in just 1 week we have successfully squeezed the Russian economy in a vice. It is restricting, but we are not stopping. Right today I talked to our partners in the European Union. Later I will talk to the United States about what other sanctions we expect the Ukrainians to impose. What other sanctions we need to impose to save the world from the aggressive madness of President Putin. This work will not stop. There will not be a moment when someone will say, "That's it, we have applied all the sanctions." We will press on it until we win, until we stop the war, until we liberate Ukraine, until we complete the restructurization of our state. The Ukrainian Foreign Ministry also created a special website for foreigners about Russian aggression against Ukraine. It is called war.ukraine.ua. The site is a true explanation of the reasons for the aggression, a living documentation of the war unfolding before the eyes of the world. So when we win, it will become a carefully assembled archive of Russian crimes, atrocities and barbarism. But the most important is the heroism and unity of the Ukrainian people. I urge you to actively spread the link to this site, war.ukraine.ua, among your foreign friends, colleagues and acquaintances. The information aggression unleashed against us by Russia is a battlefield, and here every citizen can help the state to win. Today we saw in the news that I have reported a few days ago, finally, after 8 years of insistence, a decision was made to disconnect Russian banks from the SWIFT international payment system. It has been agreed that 7 Russian banks, which are large and important for the financial stability of Russia, will be disconnected from this network. This will happen literally in the next few days. Without exaggeration, we have chewed through each of these banks with our teeth. SWIFT, to be honest, was the toughest sanction we had to fight for, but we overcame the psychological barriers of the partners, broke down the wall of the reluctance, and the first step was taken. 7 banks in Russia will be disconnected from SWIFT, but I want to assure you that these are not the last banks to be disconnected. We are continuing this work. All banks in the Russian Federation must be disconnected from SWIFT. Otherwise, these transactions, the money that will be conducted through the banks that are still connected, will be sprinkled with blood of Ukrainian innocent citizens, women, children who died under the blows of Russian aggression. And everyone in the EU, across the ocean, who will resist this and insist that some bank must still be left connected, must realize that they will be trading on Ukrainian blood through these banks. We are very grateful to our partners for their support. There is a lot of it, but there are fundamental things of politics, morality, and human life. Thank you for your attention.